India is one of the oldest civilizations on the face of this planet, and hidden across its landscape, from the scorching deserts of Rajasthan to the dense jungles of Tamil Nadu, are structures, cities, and sites that modern science cannot explain. A city that was buried for 4,000 years and then suddenly appeared from the ground, perfectly planned, perfectly built, with indoor plumbing more advanced than most of Europe had in the 1800s. A temple built with stones so perfectly fitted that not a single drop of mortar was used. And yet it has stood for over 1,000 years. A radiation zone in Rajasthan so powerful that scientists believe it could only have been caused by a nuclear explosion thousands of years before nuclear weapons existed. These are not legends. These are not myths. These are real places, real sites, real evidence, and nobody has been able to fully explain any of them. "4,000 4,000 years ago, while most of the world was still living in mud huts and open settlements, a civilization was thriving in what is now Pakistan and northwestern India that should not have been possible. The Indus Valley Civilization. Its two greatest cities, Mohenjo Daro and Harappa, were discovered by archaeologists in the 1920s, buried under centuries of earth. What they found stunned the entire world. These were not primitive settlements. They were perfectly planned grid cities with straight roads, multi-story buildings, and a drainage and sewage system so sophisticated that it was not matched anywhere in the world until the Roman Empire, nearly 2,000 years later. Every house had its own bathroom. Every street had underground drainage. There was a massive public swimming pool, the Great Bath of Mohenjo Daro, waterproofed with bitumen and fed by wells. But here is where it gets deeply mysterious. Nobody knows who built it. Nobody knows what language they spoke. Their script, the Indus script, has never been decoded, and nobody knows what happened to them. Around 1900 BC, the entire civilization simply collapsed. The cities were abandoned. The people vanished. Some archaeologists have found evidence of mass death at Mohenjo Daro, skeletons lying in the streets as if they died suddenly and violently. One theory, controversial but persistent, suggests the level of destruction was consistent with an enormous heat event of unknown origin. The stones in certain areas of Mohenjo Daro appear fused together, as if exposed to temperatures that should not have been possible in 1900 BC. On the eastern coast of India, in the state of Odisha, stands a temple so extraordinary that when European sailors first saw it from the sea, they called it the Black Pagoda, because it was so tall and so dark. It appeared like a black tower rising from the coastline, and they used it as a navigation landmark. The Konark Sun Temple, built in the 13th century by King Narasimhadeva. The entire temple is designed as a giant stone chariot with 24 intricately carved stone wheels, each 12 feet in diameter, pulled by 7 stone horses. But the wheels are not decorative. They are perfectly calibrated sundials. Each wheel has 8 spokes. The shadow cast by each spoke at different times of day allows you to tell the time to within 3 minutes of accuracy. In the 13th century, with stone wheels, the temple was built without a single drop of mortar between its stones. The stones were held together by iron beams, 25 tons of iron used in a single structure in medieval India. The main tower, which stood over 200 feet tall, contained a massive magnet at its peak. That was said to make the central idol appear to float in midair with no support. The tower collapsed centuries ago. The magnet was removed. Nobody knows exactly how it worked. In 1998, when India conducted its Pokhran nuclear tests in the Rajasthan desert, scientists doing radiation surveys in the area made a deeply disturbing discovery. There was already radiation there. Old radiation. Ancient radiation. radiation consistent with a nuclear event, but predating any known nuclear technology by thousands of years. Near the ancient city of Jodhpur, researchers found a layer of radioactive ash covering a 3-square-mile area. When they excavated the site, they found the ruins of an ancient settlement beneath. The skeletons found at the site showed radiation exposure levels comparable to those found at Hiroshima and Nagasaki after the atomic bombs of 1945. No natural geological event, no volcanic eruption, no meteor impact produces this specific type of radiation pattern. Mainstream scientists have not provided a widely accepted explanation. Some researchers have pointed to ancient Hindu texts, the Mahabharata specifically, which contains descriptions of a weapon called the Brahmastra, described as a single projectile charged with the power of the universe, producing an explosion of smokeless fire brighter than 10,000 suns, reducing everything to ash, causing the hair and nails of survivors to fall out. The symptoms described in ancient text, hair loss, nail loss, intense thirst, are the precise symptoms of acute radiation sickness. Nobody is saying this proves anything, but nobody has explained the radiation either. In 2011, the Supreme Court of India ordered the opening of 6 secret underground vaults beneath the Padmanabhaswamy Temple in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. What they found inside made headlines around the entire world. Gold, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, ancient coins, jeweled crowns, solid gold statues, sacred objects of immeasurable historical value. The total estimated value, over $1 trillion, making it the single largest treasure discovery in recorded human history. But there is a 6th vault. Vault B. It has never been opened. The doors to Vault B have no conventional mechanism to open them. They are sealed with 2 enormous cobras carved into the door, a sign that in Hindu tradition means the vault can only be opened by a specific sacred chant. A chant that only the most powerful sadhus in India are believed to know. One attempt was made to force the vault open. It was abandoned after reports of strange sounds coming from within the walls. The vault remains sealed to this day. What is inside? Nobody knows. What the sounds were? Nobody will say. In the state of Andhra Pradesh stands the Virabhadra Temple of Lepakshi, built in the 16th century. It has 70 pillars supporting its structure. 69 of those pillars rest firmly on the ground. One does not. One pillar, in the middle of the temple, hangs from the ceiling. It doesn't touch the ground. There is a visible gap between its base and the floor beneath it. Visitors have been sliding paper and cloth beneath this pillar for centuries to prove that it genuinely does not touch the ground. It has supported the temple ceiling for over 400 years. No engineer has been able to fully explain how the weight distribution works. A British engineer during the colonial era attempted to move the pillar to study its construction. He partially dislodged it, causing several other pillars to shift, and immediately stopped. The pillar was never fully examined. It hangs there still, defying every explanation, holding up the ceiling, touching nothing. India is not a country of myths and legends. It is a country of monuments that should not exist, cities that were too advanced for their time, radiation that has no explanation, treasure that has never been counted, and a pillar that has been defying gravity for 400 years. The answers to some of history's greatest questions may not be in Egypt, or Greece, or Rome. They may be right here, buried under the soil of one of the oldest civilizations that has ever existed. If this made you want to dig deeper, subscribe and hit the bell. Every week we go somewhere the textbooks were afraid to go. See you next week.